What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Let's go ahead and talk bubble picture entering Saturday. So I think there are only a couple bid thieves left out there. There's not too many. For example, VCU in the A10. I don't think they can get two teams in. I don't think VCU's resume is strong enough. Same thing with the Big West. UC San Diego, UC Irvine. I don't think whichever one of those loses is probably going to get in. UC San Diego would definitely have the better argument, though, than UC Irvine. So if you are one of these teams we're going to talk about here in a minute, if you're a fan of one of those teams, as far as who you need to root for, you need to root for Memphis in the American Conference because there could be a bid thief out there, whether it's North Texas, UAB, Tulane, whoever. You need Memphis to win to be the only team to make it from that conference. Then in the Mountain West, Colorado State and Boise State playing tonight, probably with a bid on the line. I would say if you're one of these teams, like I'm saying, you're rooting for probably Boise State. I think their resume is stronger than Colorado State. So if Colorado State was to win, Boise State might be able to sneak in on the bubble. But we'll see. I think those are kind of the only two left where there could be a bid thief. Let's go ahead and talk about it. All right. So the bid thieves, only two left. But as far as this is concerned, last four buys right now, New Mexico, Baylor, West Virginia, San Diego State. So the bubble shrunk a little bit. So a team got knocked down last night because New Mexico is not going to win their conference. So that means either Boise State or Colorado State is going to leapfrog these teams and get a spot in the field, probably as an 11 seed. So you'll probably see like Drake jump to a 10 or something. But New Mexico drops down the last four buys for me. Baylor, West Virginia, San Diego State. So these are the teams that could potentially drop down to last four in, depending on if we get some more bid thieves. Now, a lot of people are going to have San Diego State on the last four in. I think their resume is stronger than a lot of these teams. And for a lot of people, New Mexico is probably going to be nowhere near the bubble. But looking at the resume, they don't have that much. They have one over UCLA, and that's about it as far as confirmed tournament teams are concerned. So I think they could drop closer to the bubble than people are thinking. Baylor, West Virginia, it's going to be probably either them or some SEC school that ends up in the first four, last four in territory, that first four playing game, whether it's Baylor, West Virginia, whether it's Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, a team like that, because I don't think they'll put more than two Mountain West teams in the playing games. I might be wrong, but I don't think anybody wants to watch a Mountain West team versus a Mountain West team in the playing game. So I don't think they'll do that, but they might. So those are my last four buys right now. All right. So as far as New Mexico is concerned, wins over UCLA, Colorado State, Utah State, 26-7, good record, but again, not the best wins. Baylor, 19-14, not the best record, but they have quality wins. They've made it out of the Big 12, wins over St. John's and Kansas. West Virginia, same thing, record not great, but they do have quality wins. Iowa State, Arizona, Kansas. Then San Diego State, they have the wins that a lot of the Mountain West teams don't have. They have a win over Houston, which is a one seed. They're not leaving them out because they have a win over a one seed. Then they have Creighton as well, which is a solid win. Might could even win the Big East. All right, last four in, Oklahoma, Texas, Boise State, and Utah State. Oklahoma might not be in the last four in. Like I said, you're talking Oklahoma, you're talking Vanderbilt, you're talking West Virginia or Baylor. One of those teams is going to be here probably. Just it's a matter of who. Texas, I think they're in. I know they have a lot of losses. We'll talk about them here in a minute, but I think they're in. Boise State, as of right now, I don't have them winning the Mountain West Conference. If they were to win the Mountain West, they would be off the bubble completely. And so that would either lower another team or create another spot, obviously. And then Utah State, I think they're in the last four and they haven't quite done enough. Oklahoma, 20-13, so they kind of improved that record at the end of the year. Wins over Michigan, Arizona, Louisville. They are in the tournament for sure. Now, it's just a matter of if they end up being in Dayton or not. Texas, 19-15, they're kind of sweating it out. Wins over Kentucky, A&M, and Missouri, so solid wins there, but they've piled up the losses. Do you really want a team with 15 losses in the tournament? I don't know. Boise State, 24-9, they have impressive wins. Next to San Diego State, I think they have the best wins in the Mountain West, out of conference play, Clemson, St. Mary's. They also have the one over New Mexico, and they can punch their ticket tonight if they beat Colorado State. As for Utah State, one over St. Mary's, which is a good one, and then San Diego State. So outside of the Mountain West, these teams haven't beaten a lot of teams, so that's why I'm a little skeptical on them. But Utah State doesn't have too bad of losses. You can see down there UNLV and UC San Diego. First four out right now, Indiana, Xavier, St. Joe's, and Dayton. Let's go ahead and talk about Indiana, Xavier first. I think they have the best argument out of any teams left to get in the tournament. Whether it's replacing Texas, whether it's replacing the loser of Boise State, Colorado State. So they're rooting. If you're one of those teams, you're rooting for Boise State hard tonight. Because if Boise State wins, you definitely have an argument for a better resume over Colorado State. So you could probably jump in. And then some people want to argue they have a better resume than Texas. Then St. Joe's and Dayton, we'll talk about them. But Indiana, 19-13, wins over Michigan State and Purdue. They don't have a loss outside of quad one. So I think Indiana is in good shape. But again, you've got to root for Boise State. You've got to hope for no bid thieves. If no bid thieves happen and Boise State wins tonight, I think Indiana is in. I think they're the last team in. But we'll see. Xavier, 21-11. They've got some solid wins. Marquette, UConn, and Creighton. So they've beaten everybody in the Big East that is going to the tournament except St. John's. But they only have one quad one win. I think that might come back to bottom. St. Joe's kind of slept on St. Joseph's, but they've got some solid wins. Texas Tech, which is going to be a 2 or 3 seed. Dayton, which is a team we're about to talk about. And then Villanova or St. Joseph's are going to just go and win the A10, which they might. They're playing pretty good right now, but they do have some bad losses kind of hindering, where they're at. Dayton, 22-10, ones over Marquette, UConn, and VCU. So solid wins, but is VCU a better win than Creighton when you're comparing Dayton and Xavier's resume? The answer is no. All right, the next four out, North Carolina, Ohio State, UC Irvine, and North Texas. North Carolina, they had their chance last night, against a depleted Duke team. They just couldn't get the job done. Their wins with only one quad win over UCLA, it's just not enough for North Carolina to get in. Ohio State, 17-15. Again, just too many losses. Unlike Texas at least has piled up some wins in the tournament. Ohio State couldn't do it. They had their chance and kind of just squandered that opportunity. I think they're out for sure. UC Irvine, 28-5, ones over UC San Diego and Belmont. So they're playing UC San Diego tonight for a chance for a ticket. The problem with them is, again, outside of San Diego, they just don't have very good wins. So I think they're going to be out, although the best bet for the Big West to get two teams in is for UC Irvine to win and hope UC San Diego can get that last bubble spot. Then North Texas, 24-7, ones over Minnesota, FAU, Wichita State, just not very good enough wins. But they have a chance to steal a bid. If they can beat UAB today and then beat Memphis or Tulane tomorrow, they could be in. But as of right now, that is my current bubble picture entering Saturday. We'll see what changes today. There's going to be a lot of changes. I'll try to put an update out tomorrow morning, hopefully before Selection Sunday, but we'll see what happens. But who are your last four in right now? Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.